Welcome to the Mindset with Morgan podcast. I am so grateful you're here. I'm Morgan, and I am a multiple seven-figure entrepreneur who adores all things business. I love building great teams and great companies who benefit the world. I've been building and running startups for nearly 15 years and have learned a few things along the way. I'm a teacher by heart, and I'm so excited to share with you. I'm also human, and I need a good pick-me-up and mindset shift before meetings, tough conversations, and sometimes just on my morning commute. My hope is that you can use this podcast as a quick mindset reset before you start your day or whenever you need a mindset shift. I also love a good funny story with a helpful lesson involved, and that is what you'll get here. Now let's learn, grow, and have a few laughs. Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for being here today. I hope you're having an amazing day, and I hope you had an awesome Christmas break. For those of you who did not take a break over Christmas, no worries, but it's something I highly recommend doing in the future when you can. Now, I say that knowing not everybody can, and it probably took me a good 10 years of planning to take off over Christmas to actually do it. It was something that I've always wanted to do. It's something I've always thought sounded so amazing and so relaxing, and I kind of planned my year around it starting a few years ago. Wasn't easy. I have a cough. I'm going to talk about that. That's actually a piece of what I'm going to talk about today. But I'm still recording because the show must go on. So today I want to talk about really how to start back up after a long break. Just in general, how to start that project back up that maybe you stopped working on 4 months ago, that you told yourself you were going to work on every single week, and then you look behind you and all of a sudden it's been 4 months. I have good news and bad news when it comes to something like that, and I'm always so inspired when I look at this the other way. And the other way is when you start something and you start doing something consistently, let's say reading 15 minutes a day or working 10 minutes a day on something, or writing, your book, and you're putting 20 minutes a day towards it. When you begin doing something like that, it can feel like you're not getting anywhere. But what I always like to remind myself is of that feeling when you take a break and you look behind you and you're like, oh my gosh, it's been 4 months since I picked up my computer to work on this, or since I picked up my pen to work on this, whatever the thing is that you're working on. And that's always inspiring to me, because it's like that 4 months, I kick myself, right? If I would have been working on this thing for the past 4 months, look how much I would have had done. And I hope that inspires you to just begin whatever you're looking to work on or whatever you're looking to do. But let's talk about starting something back up after a long, long break. And a long break could be a week, it could be a month, it could be a year, but it is so freaking hard. So I want to share a few examples recently of some breaks that I took and how I started back up, because it's hard, you guys. It's hard for everybody. And I don't have any special talents or skills with this than anybody else. It's willpower, and it's convincing yourself enough to get started again, and really understanding why you're doing the thing that you promised yourself. So one example is, I started running again, and I was so freaking proud of myself. All I wanted to do was run 3 days a week. That's it. And I was doing so good. And when I say so good, I'm going back 2 years ago. In 2022, we're in 2025. Oh my gosh, almost 3 years. See how fast time goes? I was doing awesome at actually working out 3 times a week. I hated it. I did not enjoy it. There was not a moment where all of a sudden I'm like, oh man, I crave this. I saw something on Instagram probably a year ago where somebody was like, yeah, I was working out in the gym, and somebody said to me, oh yeah, we're getting it in even on vacation. And she was like, I didn't really understand or relate with her, because I love working out on vacation. And I wanted to be like, who are you? Who loves working out on vacation? Who loves working out ever? And, to me, sometimes things like that can seem so disheartening. And if you do love working out and love working out on vacation, you're amazing. I'm proud of you. I think that's really, really awesome. I am not one of those people. So it's a big challenge for me to work out and to get myself to do something that I really don't like doing, even if I know I'm going to feel better afterwards. But I find it really disheartening when people don't relate with other people, and sometimes it just makes you feel bad, right? When you see other people act like this should be easy for you. It shouldn't be easy for you. It's not easy. If it were easy, everyone would be freaking running 5 miles a day every day. So if it's not easy for you, that's okay. But you're the one who needs to tell yourself to get over that hump and to actually begin doing it. So for me, it was really hard to start back up after stopping. Why did I stop? I don't know. You skip one day, you skip another day, and then it sure as heck becomes easy to skip the next day and the next day. And over time, months went by, right? It's crazy how quickly time compounds, both in that good way and in that bad way, like we just talked about, where you turn around and you're like, oh my gosh, it's been 4 months since I got on the treadmill. Or, oh my gosh, it's been 4 months since I've been running consistently every day. That time seems to take a lot longer for whatever reason. But I started running again just a few weeks ago, and then I got sick. Probably over a month ago, actually. I got really, really sick, and I'll have probably a whole other episode on that because it was a big reason why I made some big life decisions very recently and let some things go. Your health is really important, and if you don't have it, it's really everything. You don't really have anything if you don't have your health. And last fall, I definitely ran into some health issues and began working on them, and running really, really, really helped me. But I was unable to run for a little bit. And how do you start something back up when you literally can't do it anymore, have to take a big break, and then need to get yourself re-energized again? So for me, my biggest piece of advice is just commit to doing something today. There's an amazing book called How to Stop Worrying and Start Living. And one of the keys that Dale Carnegie talks about is living in day-tight containers. I think I said that right. Day-tight containers. Worrying only about today. Okay? Literally not thinking about the run tomorrow, right? Because that becomes extremely overwhelming. Not worrying about the next day or the next day, but worrying about day-tight containers. And let me read you a Bible verse. And you guys, I literally can't make this up. I knew the Bible verse in my head that I wanted to share with you. I just picked up the Bible, opened it up, and the verse I wanted is in front of me highlighted. I'm not making that up. I'm really not. Because I didn't plan on reading this verse to you, but I'm going to. So this is Luke chapter 12, verse 22. Then Jesus said to his disciples, "Therefore I tell you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat, or about your body, what you will wear. Life is more than food, and the body more than clothes. Consider the ravens. They do not sow or reap. They have no storage or barn, yet God feeds them. And how much more valuable are you than birds? Who of you, by worrying, can add a single hour to his life? Since you cannot do this very little thing, why do you worry about the rest? Consider how the lilies grow. They do not labor or spin. Yet I tell you, even Solomon in all his splendor was dressed like one of these. If that is how God clothes the grass of the field, which is here today and tomorrow is thrown into the fire, how much more will he clothe you, O ye of little faith? O you of little faith. And do not set your heart on what you will eat or drink. Do not worry about it, for the pagan world runs after all these things, and the Father knows that you need them. But seek his kingdom, and these things will be given to you as well." So my point in this, and Jesus's point in this, right? And this is in red in the Bible, which means he said it. Someone taught me that once, and I did not know that. Worry about today. Worry about today, right? The birds, the animals of the world, they're not, storing things up in a bank account like we are and hoarding it, and worrying about tomorrow. They're just worrying about today, and they're still living, right? They're still going. That's how the birds are treated, right? And they have what they need. Are we not a little more important than the birds is kind of the point of that. And yes, we are. So worry about today. The thing that you took a break from, just do a little bit today. And that is how you will do it tomorrow. That's how I got into running. That's how I got out of running, right? Skipping a day, then another day, then another day. Getting sick was separate, that was beyond my control. But it is in my control now to start back up. And the only way I'm going to start back up is by doing a little bit at a time. Okay? So how do you restart something if you're a 100% on or off person like me? So what I mean by that is I always tell people I am either on or off. I am not a little bit on. I'm not a little bit off. I'm on or I'm off. And that can be really great, but it can also be really bad. What that means is that, for example, if I have decided I'm not working today and I'm out of work mode, I'm basically useless. My brain, it's not there. I'm not a little bit in, little bit out. I need to be all in or all out. Now, when I'm all in, I am a machine. I will work my butt off. I will work until the ends of the earth. No one will outwork me when I've decided to be on. I'm on or off. And I've struggled with that because sometimes I feel like I'm lazy. And then I almost have to be on again to compensate and remind myself of the fact that I am not lazy. I'm not a lazy person, but I definitely feel like I am. I think it's important that you figure out how you work. Are you an on-off person like that too? Can you be a little bit on, a little bit off? Can you work while having the TV on, for example, and kind of pay attention and get your stuff done, but be able to pay attention to something else? I can't, right? I'm on or off. I need to be 100% focused in silence to actually get legitimate work done. But that's me. Figuring that out about yourself is going to be really helpful in how to get started back into something once you've stopped. So another example I have is after winter break. I took off for the winter. Now when I say took off, I was at my computer every single day, you guys, Monday through Friday. But I wasn't moving the needle forward on projects. I wasn't doing any proactive work. I was doing only reactive work like checking emails, responding to phone calls, things like that. And how I got myself back in to get excited, because I walked in my office one day and I'm like, man, this sucks. I'd like to go back to like December 1st where I was like playing Christmas music in my house and it was beautiful and there's lights and it's nice and I'm excited for Christmas and I'm thinking about what I'm going to make. That's gone now, right? Now it's cold and dry and wet and blah. Dry air, wet ground, gray sky. Just, it's not as exciting as it was, right? So how do I get myself excited again? Well, you guys, I reorganized my office. And that's something you can do as well. Reorganize your space. It could even be, let's say you have a desk, take everything off your desk, throw away all the crap you don't need, and put everything back on. Sometimes just a refresh of the space around you can make such a difference. Clean out your closet, right? Clean out your area, clean out your space. So all I did was I moved my desk about, I don't know, I'm looking at it right now, probably 3 feet, and turned it the other direction. And I put curtains up. I've had some curtains sitting in my office in its packaging for the past 3 months. And this weekend I'm like, just put the freaking curtains up. So I got up there and I put the curtains up. Side note, if you want the most amazing trick for putting curtains up, I love hanging things. I always tell my husband if there was an Olympics for hanging things, I would get a gold medal. I wanna share with people how I do it because I love hanging stuff up. My trick is painter's tape for almost everything. So what I mean by that is I pick where I want my curtains to go. It's easiest when you're working on the first one. If you're working on the next window, then you have to make sure the height is exactly the same as the other one. So it adds a little bit of a caveat. But you take your painter's tape, you take the exact length of the curtain rod that you are using, okay? And you tape it above the window. Now, once it's taped, take your level, make sure the tape is exactly level. If the tape is level, now when you hang your brackets exactly in the same spot on each side, you know you're good. It's the painter's tape, you guys. It's the painter's tape. I always make sure my tape is level, and if my tape's level, everything else kind of falls into place from there. I also, in this particular room, hung my curtain rod about 9 inches higher than where the window trim was. And you guys, it makes your space look so much taller. You don't always have the availability to do that in every room, but I did in this room, so I always do that if I can. I know that was a total tangent. I swear I don't have ADHD. Maybe I do, but I was looking at my curtains, and my point is that was a huge help for me to get back into the swing of things after taking a huge break. Just adding some new fun stuff that's refreshing. And honestly, you guys, if organizing your office space is something that you do, you're probably going to realize you have maybe like 4 different layouts, and you might reuse them over the years. But it still feels new to you if it's been 6 months since you last moved your desk. Move it. You might move it back the next 6 months, but it's going to feel brand new and fresh every single time because it's been so long. So I hope that's helpful to you. If you are getting back into the swing of things now after that break, or if you're trying to pick something back up that you took a huge break on, just worry about doing a little bit today. That's it. The day tight containers. I hope that was helpful, and I'll see you soon.